Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. So in this video we'll talk about the constraints of the culture media. So in the introductory video of the culture media and the culture method, I told you the first heading that we will discussing is about the constraints of the culture media, or what the culture media, the culture environment is actually made up of. So in that we had discussed the basic six constituents that were the PUME MBS or PUME MBBS. That's a peptone, electrolyte and water, meat extract, agar, yeast extract, malt extract, blood and serum. So these are the basic that we discussed in the constituents of the culture media, and trick to remember the names of the constituents. Now we'll look in the detail and study about all these 9 constituents of the culture media. So the most basic constituents of the culture medium is the water. Water basically acts as a source of hydrogen and oxygen for the growing microorganism. So basically it's nothing but a source of hydrogen and oxygen for the growing microorganism. And so question may arise, what type of water you have to use for the formation of culture media. So you can either use distilled water, or you also use potable water. Depending upon the microorganism, we can use either the distilled water or the potable water. And next important constituent that you must know is the electrolytes. So electrolytes are also basically very necessary for the maintenance of the tonicity of the culture media or the culture environment. So most important commonly used electrolyte is the NaCl. So NaCl is basically because of two reasons it is commonly used. It is easily available and it's cost effective as it is quite cheaper as compared to other electrolytes, hence easily available. And next important constituent is the peptone. Peptone is basically a complex mixture of partially digested proteins. So if we use certain enzymes like pepsin to degrade the proteins, the remainder you will getting is basically the peptones and the peptides and amino acids. So peptone is nothing but a mixture of the partially digested proteins, and which are basically formed by the help of some enzymes. So what are the constituents of the peptone? So by the help of certain enzymes you are degrading the proteins. The most commonly formed structure will be the amino acids. Apart from the amino acids, you will find proteases, inorganic salts, and accessory growth factors like nicotinic acid. So nicotinic acid is also present in the peptone mixture. It is also very important constituent. What is the source of this peptone? If you talk about the source, the most common source are the lean meat, casein protein, and the soya flour. So we commonly use soya flour for the source of peptone, and which is important constituent of the culture media. There is something called the peptone water, which is nothing but the combination of peptone, electrolytes and water, which form the basic culture medium. Now next important constituent of the culture medium is the agar. So agar you have to study in detail. So basically agar is prepared from the cell wall of a variety of seaweeds. So if we talk about the seaweeds, the most important for this formation of the agar, or from whose cell wall the agar is formed, is basically the red algae. So this thing you might be knowing from the NCERT as well. In the class 11th and 12th you might have studied. That's the Gelidium and the Gracilaria are basically the red algae from whose cell wall we form the agar. So agar is basically present in powder form, which according to the need may be mixed with certain other constituents of culture medium to form a as per suitable culture medium for that particular microbe. So what are the components of this agar, of the agar powder that is usually commonly found as a constituent of the culture medium? Basically they are the long chain polysaccharides, which are found from the cell wall of the seaweeds. Apart from that we also have protein, long chain fatty acids, and most important are the cations, which are the calcium and the magnesium. So calcium and magnesium are found in a higher quantity as compared to the other cations present. So we have the long chain fatty acid, protein, and long chain polysaccharide basically form the components of the agar, which are prepared from the cell wall. So what is the use of this agar? It's basically used for the solidifying the culture media. So it's basically used for the solidifying. So as I told you, when Louis Pasteur founded the culture medium, he used the liquid broth. But the liquid broth, difficulty for using liquid broth are many, like the morphology can not be easily seen. But if you use agar, it's quite clear as compared to the liquid media, and the morphology of the growing microbes can easily be seen. So if you talk about the properties, the agar cannot be utilized to degrade bacteria. That is, it adds the zero calorific value. That's no nutrition is provided to the bacteria by the help of agar. And agar has a melting point of 98 degrees Celsius, which means it is autoclavable. What is an autoclave? I'll be teaching you in the upcoming videos. So if you have not subscribed our channel yet, click on the subscribe button below and do subscribe and share our channel. And it has a solidifying point of 40 degrees Celsius. So let me tell you how the agar is actually formed. Usually it is available in the powder, the crystal form. You add it to water and heat it. When the temperature reaches 90 degrees Celsius, the powder or the crystals melt. And if you start cooling it, when the temperature will decrease from 98 to 90, 80, 70, 60, then when it will reach 42 degrees Celsius, it will start solidifying. So in the room temperature of about 25 degrees Celsius, when it will reach, it will be present in the solid form, which is our requirement. Is there any other alternative for agar? Yes, there is one more alternative, that's called the gelatin, which is also used for the solidifying the medium. But the problem with gelatin is that it melts at only 24 degrees Celsius, and you have to lower the room temperature or present an environment which is comparative cooler in order to get the solid media by gelatin. Moreover, it gets liquefied by a number of bacteria. Suppose you have got the lower the room temperature and got the gelatin in solid form, and you have got the solid media, culture media. But if you put some bacteria or other microbes, they start liquefying the they start liquefying the given culture media formed by gelatin. So basically, all the process will not be carried out within a proper way, as we require a solid medium. Moreover, it is also liquid at room temperature. So that's why we do not prefer gelatin over agar. Now let's look at the types of agar. So basically we have two types of agar, Japanese agar and the New Zealand agar. So basically New Zealand agar has more gelifying property as compared to Japanese agar. So if you adding 2 balls of New Zealand agar, it will be equivalent to the 4 balls of Japanese agar, because it has more gelifying property. So we usually add it in a lesser amount as compared to the Japanese agar. So here we have another important culture media constituent, that is the meat extract. Basically meat extract is obtained from the highly concentrated meat stock, and the source of the meat is the beef. So it's most commonly preferred. And what is the constituent of the meat extract is basically the protein, inorganic salts, basically magnesium, calcium, carbohydrates, and some growth factors. So these are the constituents of the meat extract. What of the yeast extract? It's basically the cells of the baker yeast. So what is the scientific name of that? Kindly tell in the comment box below. So and what is the constituents of the yeast extract? Basically these are the amino acids, which are the degraded form of protein, inorganic salts, again that's basically magnesium, calcium, and the carbohydrates. So these forms the constituents of the yeast extract. Malt extract basically contains maltose. As the name suggests, malt basically contains the maltose, which is 50%. Apart from that, it also has starch, dextrin, glucose, and protein. So protein is basically a constituent of most of the extract or the constituent we use in the culture medium. We also use blood and serum for the culture medium for a number of bacteria, and the important components are basically formed by the sheep blood or horse. We can also use ox or human blood as per the requirement by the microorganism. So basically important components of the enriched media and provide the extra nutrition to the fastidious bacteria. So what is the fastidious bacteria? Fastidious bacteria are basically bacteria which require special nutrition. So for the growth of the fastidious bacteria, they require certain specific components in the culture medium to be present so the bacteria can easily grow. So by adding the blood or serum, basically we are enriching the media in the nutrition. And source, as I told you, we use sheep blood 5 to 10%, or horse, ox, or human blood can also be used. But blood is prevented from coagulation by oxalates, citrate, or by defibrillation. And serum is when used is also sterilized by filtration. When I will tell you the process of the sterilization, filtration is one of the process by which the sterilization is achieved. So this was all about the components of the constituents of the culture media. If you like the video, please hit the like button and do subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.